Only 2 o'clock. I know. Love to be on time so that everybody gets to continue their day. But that's all right. We'll give it another minute or two. Some people are. So, Ariane, how are you?
I'm doing fantabulous.
So, what's fantabulous? What makes it a fantabulous day?
I clean my bathroom with sparkling white.
Okay. Sometimes it's those things that really help us de-stress.
Well, we've been remodeling, so it was really a hot mess.
Okay.
So it wasn't just a regular cleaning.
Okay.
I'm not going to be available for the next hour.
Did you just say something for us or to someone else?
No, my mama.
Okay. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good. I just this morning ordered a business card. Just launched a Facebook invite friend and also working my website.
Wow. Okay, you're doing a lot of good things. I love it.
I went until last night like 11 p.m.
Wow, good. Excellent. Oh, stay on, Nabila. Get back on. Good. We're going to have a boring discussion today. For some people, it's going to be boring. Nabila, where did you go? Okay, I have two after, and out of respect for those of you who have shown up on time, let's get going. The boring topic today, which is one I happen to love, but that so many agents tend to shy away from, is goal setting. How many of you have written goals? Written goals. Juan, you have written goals. And where is that goal?
Oh, on my phone.
On your phone. Nabila, I bet you have a written goal.
Sorry, I have many, yes.
You have many goals?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to share any? You can say no. Goals can be very personal. Do share it with your coach, but okay. All right. How many of you have set about thinking about goals? This is interactive, by the way. I don't want to be alone. Jennifer? You got two
Yes,
Jennifers here, Jennifer C. and yeah.
At least
ahead.
hopefully I can have like a transaction, no matter leasing or closing. Hopefully in 6 months.
Okay, guys. This week, we have Gene Rivers, who is an excellent speaker. I've attended his seminars. He's light, he's humorous, and he's going to, are you all aware about the National MREA Business Planning Clinic?
Yes.
Okay, and when is it?
The 21st, 20 and 21st.
In other words, tomorrow and Thursday. Today's Tuesday, so it's tomorrow and Thursday, and Eastern time, it's 1 to 5. So for some of you, that may mean you have to get some help, maybe, to free up your time to attend. I highly encourage it. Gene Rivers is going to be our speaker. He is he's good. He's really good. I've cleared the decks on my calendar. So that Gene Rivers is a person.
No, in person or Zoom.
No, it's KW Connect.
Oh, okay.
Do you all know how to get to KW Connect? kwconnect.com and go under, I think it's either education, I think it's education, and then live sessions. The calendar with live sessions, and it will be there. Both sessions are there. So play around a little bit. It's in KW Connect. I highly encourage it. It may be streamed in your market center, which would be a great way to watch it. So check with your market center. I know here in Woodcliff Lake, we will be live streaming it and encourage everybody to come in. Why do we need goals?
Keep us focused
Okay.
into where we're going. It's a roadmap.
It's a, yeah. Yeah. Why else? Because I want to break through a little resistance. Quite frankly, when I was a new sales associate, I didn't want to do goals. Do a goal? Are you kidding? I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Right? Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Why do we need goals? One is right. It gives us a direction. It's a roadmap. Help me. How do you map your progress if you don't know where you're going? You know, they have something here at Keller Williams they called the 15th protocol. And as of the 15th of the month, if you have not made the progress towards your monthly goal, in other words, half there, then you put into effect a whole protocol of extra activities that you're going to be doing so that you make that goal by the end of the month. Now, why don't we just play around a little bit? You don't even have to share it with me, but what would be your goal for 2022?
Get at least 10, complete 10 transactions.
Okay,
Close 12 transactions.
okay, thank you. All right, it could be sales, it could be number of listings, could be an income amount. All right, the average, go into your MLS and see what the average sale price is in the area that you're marketing to, your primary market area. See what the average is. Then figure out what the commission would be, 2.5%, 2.25%. And that's the average commission that you should put in your business plan. Now you can default to the market center average commission, which I think is probably around 13,000, I'm guessing, but somewhere between 10 and 13,000 per transaction. So then you kind of have an idea, what's your income going to be like? Your gross income. That's before the market center split and before Uncle Sam takes his piece. But let's get back to those goals. I want your small goals. You don't want your goal to be too small because it places limits on your potential. What happens when you meet a goal? And I think if you're like me, you don't want to make the goal too big because then you're gonna like feel bad if you don't make it. So you make your goal, you dummy down a little bit so that you can achieve it. So you feel better. Do I see a show of hands of people who are kind of like-minded? Yeah, thanks for your honesty. Appreciate it. All right, but small goals tend to place limits on your potential, and that big goals have a tendency to pull us right through the small goals on the way to attaining the big ones. Does that make sense? I've heard, I don't know whether it's true, that Gary Keller does not make his goals. Is that shocking? Come on, interact with me,
Yeah,
guys.
isn't it like you reach for the stars and you touch the clouds?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
that old saying.
Yeah. If you meet your goal, what do you do?
Well, a lot. It gives you confidence.
Set higher
you know,
goals.
Yeah. You set higher goals and you have the confidence that where, you know, you look at where you started off.
I like your attitude. I like it, your attitude. Because what I'm not hearing, and that I love, is you take your foot off the gas because you've accomplished what you wanted to. That's what you don't want to do. That means your goal was too small.
Mhm.
That means your goal was too small. The difference between goals that just satisfy you and goals that truly maximize you. So you want your goal to maximize you. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this thing. Anybody here want to be a millionaire real estate agent? Come on, let's see the hands. Yay, yay, yay. Come on, Jennifer, go
that
ahead,
one,
be
that
brave.
one.
Okay. All right. Everyone is on track to be one, a millionaire real estate agent. I'm certain that given enough time, everyone would reach that status. Now, I'm going to guess, because you're at Keller Williams, that that's not good enough for you. That, hey, by the end of your career, you've sold $1 million, you've gotten $1 million in commission. All right, they call that the Methuselah method. Yeah, so you don't want to do that. You want to put a time frame on it. So you want to get there faster, right? 30 years, 15 years, 5 years, be brave. Remember, your goals are supposed to stretch you. Your goals are supposed to maximize you. All right. So only those with as much gas in their tank as Methuselah can afford to explore the trial and error route, right? So why reinvent the wheel? People have gone ahead of you and have kind of created the road for you creating your goals. And in preparation for this session tomorrow and Thursday, I want you to go prepared with your goals. And guys, make them stretchable, make them a stretch.
So is this a 2-day conference?
Yes,
1 to 5?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's such a wonderful time of year to do this because, whatever prep you need to do to put your goals in place, you've got time to do it.
Mhm.
Right? And business that you're going to be putting together beginning of November, middle of November, is probably going to close in January of 2022. So you want to make sure that you have a goal that will take you to the end of this year, because this year isn't over. You still have the time to put together transactions that will close in December. And there always seems to be that mad rush for the last weekday of the year, as everybody wants to get their closing in so they get their tax deduction for this year. So there's a mad rush, attorneys working and title companies working way after. That last week can be very crazy. So I don't want you to think that 2021 is over. It's not. You've still got 2.5 good months to put some business together. But I want you to plan aggressively for 2022. What are your feelings on what the market may do in 2022? Nabila, thank you,
Oh,
Annie.
sorry. It may favor buyers.
You think it might swing all the way over to buyers?
Maybe not all the way over, but I see a shift, and hopefully it'll benefit buyers. Buyers may have a better chance of
Yeah.
getting the homes they want.
Okay. Okay.
I
Juan, is
just
that
asked
you
because-
speaking
yeah.
up? Go ahead.
I mean, what's your take on it? I mean, I hear a big buzz coming. Is that so? Like back, I think it was like 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, with the real estate selling, and then it,
Yeah, in 2008, you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you think it's gonna happen again? Because I listen to a lot of podcasts like Rich Dad Poor Dad and the other Bigger Pockets, and, so what do you think?
Well, what I think probably is useless, but I'll share useless
Thanks.
information with you anyway. And I lived through 2020, 2008. And it's interesting. It's interesting. I saw the cracks in 2006. Okay. I saw the cracks. I saw some subtle changes, things that should have flown off the market didn't. What are some other ways that you tell a market is changing?
Interest rates.
Interest rates, actually, interest rates, when they first go up, will stimulate the market. Because buyers will jump in thinking, oh my God, let's get in, let's buy that house before they go up to 10. Okay.
Less
So-
offers coming in,
I'm sorry, Nabila?
less offers.
Fewer offers. Instead of having 20 offers on one house, maybe there's going to be 10. Okay, maybe there's 15 instead of 20. Still very hot, but a change.
Less people showing up at open houses?
Fewer people at open houses. Yep. Yep. Thank you, George.
More accepted offers.
If you're a buyer's agent, you're finally getting a home run. Yeah. Yeah. What else? What else? I want you to, you should every day be feeling what's going on in the market. Are you watching your particular hot sheet, your particular town? Are some things coming back on the market?
Yeah, longer DOMs also.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikisha. Longer days on the market. Some things coming back on the market. I think price reductions. We're seeing price
reductions. Yeah.
Okay. So all of these things are going to be going to tell you that the market is changing.
The question
It's-
then, when the buyers, because I've spoken to several people and they all ask, one of the first questions they always ask is, well, what do you think is going to happen? Is the market going to crash? Should we wait a little bit more? Should we wait for another year? What do you think? And it's just so stressful because you don't really know, but you kind
That's
of feel
right.
like maybe we are high up.
I've been in the business a long time. I've seen many ups, I've seen many downs. It's been my experience when there's a down, and I saw 2008, and let me tell you, it was brutal. I also saw, what year was that? 1990. I had a client come in, I'd been taking them out for weeks, and they came in and they were at a very high price range, and I saw the look on their faces. I said, what happened? And they said, did you listen to the news today? I mean, like, who has time to listen to the news during the day? I said, no, the market crashed. I think it was 90 or 91, the market crashed, and their assets were in the market. So they said, we're going to have to look at another price range. And I said, well, you ain't going to do it today because we're going out for ice cream because I don't like the look on your face. They never forgot that, by the way, that it wasn't, for me, it wasn't the money. It was, let's go take care of you because you're not having a good day. But what made me get off on that tangent? Predicting. Okay. There are some major differences between 2008 and what we're living in right now. We're long overdue for a correction. I think everybody's going to tell you that. And Jeff Otto, if you ever go to his seminars, it's OTTEAU, Jeff Otto. He's excellent. Did anybody go to his seminar the last time? He does charge. It's minimal. It's like $100. He's a real estate appraiser and analyst for New Jersey. And he's right on because he just literally studies the market. Our banks are very healthy right now. In 2008, our banks weren't healthy. There was very little reserve, and the large brokerage houses in New York bought each other's debt and assets. All right. Did any of you ever read Too Big to Fail?
No.
If you ever want you think Halloween horror film, read that. But it was literally, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and all of those companies bought each other's debt, so that when one company started to slide, it was like a slippery slope for the others to go with. A lot of safeguards, I've got to believe, I don't know firsthand, have been put in place, but I do know the banks are healthier. Most people have equity in their homes. All right, they didn't back then. Part of the problem was there were, oh God, I'm going to forget the name of it, but there were loans that we called no income, no employment, no asset verifications. They were just totally what we called no doc loans, that you could just come in and say, I make 500,000 a year and I want to go buy that $1.5 million house. And it would be like, okay, a pre-approval was written on the basis of an interview. And quite frankly, there were mortgage reps who had file cabinets full of supporting documentation. In other words, fraud. Okay. And that is not going on. The financial industry is watched so tightly that that's not going to happen. So do I think we're going to,
after that, right? After the 2008,
Yeah.
because they were just giving loans out and expecting someone to buy the debt, especially international, right?
well,
Buy the debt.
you know what happened? You know what happened?
They
There
were-
was,
they
what
were
was it, American
mislabeled.
Mortgage Company? I'm sorry, George?
They were mislabeling. Loans are by A, B, C, whatever, and it might have been a C loan, and they were giving it an A rating and bulking it and selling it off.
That's
and it wasn't
exactly
the true
right.
value.
And exactly right. And I think it was American Mortgage was one of the first to fail on its face. They bundled the loans that they were selling to the secondary market, and they would put their what do you call them? The bad
Subprime.
loans in the bundle of good
In the
loans.
bundle. Mhm.
In the bundle of good loans. And of course, the auditors at the other end would just kind of pull out one here, pull out one there. Well, once they pulled out a bad one, and then they started a deep dive into the audit and found all of the bad loans that were bundled with the good loans, and realized that American Mortgage, I think it was American Mortgage, had broken their contract. This is being recorded. I probably shouldn't name a lender. Broke their contract. They had to buy back all the loans that they had sold to the secondary market. It put them under. Absolutely put them under. They couldn't afford to buy back. So that was the beginning. So there are many differences with where we are. Are our prices high right now? Yeah. But I would turn to a buyer and I would say, listen, it almost doesn't matter whether you feel like you're buying high. It only matters if when you sell high.
Mhm.
You know, if you buy now and you the market tends to correct, which it's going to do, and you want to sell in 3 years, you might hurt yourself. You may feel it. So there are a lot of things that are different, and we don't know what the market's going to do. Quite frankly, when COVID hit and we were all locked down, what did you think was going to happen to the real estate market?
Crash.
We thought we were on our way to fall on our faces. And what happened? It took off. One of the hottest real estate markets we've seen in a long time. So predictions aren't necessarily on target. The human nature, people still want a home. People are still getting married, having babies, unfortunately getting divorced. All these lifestyle changes, getting promotions. More and more people are working from home. So they want that office. They want the house to be comfortable. They're spending more time there. So do I think there'll be a leveling off? I think there will be. Do I think it's going to be a drastic? No, I don't. I will tell you though, historically, as the market starts to swing, as Nabila was saying, as the market becomes a little bit more buyer friendly, if it does swing into the buyer category, it will do so quickly. It is a balanced market. It's been my experience for about a month. And then it swings right over. And the only way to tell whether the market has changed because of seasonality or whether we are in a trend is to look backwards. Okay, you really can only tell by looking backwards and saying, how long has this been going on? Is it a trend? And you know, we still have to live in our homes. If people want to postpone, I think interest rates will go up and that may balance out any price. You know, people will say, well, I'll wait for the market to eat up some of the not inflation, but some of the growth in this market and the prices. But then what are interest rates going to do? Right? What matters is the monthly payment. So if people can make that monthly payment and are comfortable and then are living in the lifestyle that they want, we need to help them. We need to give them permission. You know, they're looking to you as the expert to give them permission. And if they hear hesitancy in your voice, that maybe now is not a good time to buy, try to shake that off, have a conversation with someone, because it's all about lifestyle. We tend to get jaded in this area because we assume, you know, our homes are major investments and major deposits in our retirement account, right? At some point. Well, that's not the case all over the country. It's not the case. They literally look at homes for lifestyle. This is where I'm going to live. This is where I want to be comfortable.
Yeah, Patty, should then the question be, what are you looking 5-10 years? Are you looking to live here in 5-10 years? Or are you looking to move? Because that'll depend whether it's the right time for you to buy.
Right. That's a great question, Juan.
Because I remember in 08, a friend of mine, he bought a house and he was what was it called? Up and over or
Underwater?
Underwater, yeah.
Do you all know what underwater means, by the way?
Upside down.
Upside down?
Mhm.
Upside
Yeah,
down,
oh.
underwater. What it means is that there's more owed on the mortgage than the market
Than
would
what it's
support.
worth.
Than
Yeah.
what the market would support. Yep, exactly. So he was underwater.
So, but years later, I think 15 years later, then he was able to get a decent price.
And some of the
So I guess
foreclosures.
that's what plays here, because a lot of people I hear, oh, I don't want to do anything. I can't. They're too expensive, and they're afraid that if they purchase it in 3 years, the house will be worth less. But if you're in for the long haul, it's a cycle.
It's a cycle. And quite frankly, it has been a very difficult market for many buyers. So it would be nice to have a little bit of a correction, to Nabila's point, that maybe the buyers would get a little bit of a chance. But just understand that swing happens quickly. Once you get down to a balanced market, it's not there long. It swings over quickly. But keep your eye looking for those parameters that are going to signal. And, you know, it's not like across the board. Right now, the upper market, I would say like 2 million and higher, we're seeing some slowdowns there. And that was one of our hottest markets, remember? So that's slowing down just a little bit. So, but we're still very hot in the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 markets. Those homes are still selling quickly. So you're going to see it's very area and price dependent. But let's get back to you guys and your goals, because you see what, as the market changes, those of you who know how to do business are going to thrive. Not only survive, you're going to thrive because you know how to do business. And you're going to have a written goal with a vision board so that you can look at it and say, okay, I want to buy another house. I want to buy, I want to go on this great vacation. I want to buy a new car. I want to give X amount of dollars to charity. I want to put money away for college education. All right, get that vision board going. Tie it to your goal. Figure out how many sales you need to make to get to that goal. And don't let the naysayers or the TV people talking about, you know, Chicken Little, the sky's falling. The sky is not falling. Last time I checked, they're not moving New York City, and we are a bedroom community. And as much as Zoom has really really helped out during the pandemic, when everybody was Zooming and they could work from home. But you know what? Most people still have to go in one day a week or one day a month because they have to make the meetings. And companies are they're mandating people to start coming back. I know Wells Fargo is. So yeah, don't let all that stuff, that's clutter, it's noise. Just make your goal. Know that if you have to, you'll pump up the volume. The 15th protocol, 15th of the month, if you haven't made your goal, what are you going to do to increase your effort to make that goal? What you want to do is, and I'm sure Gene Rivers will go over this with you, you're going to want your goal, very clear goal, and then identify 3 priorities to get there. Depending on where you are in your career, it might be, setting up your database and your geographic farm and really working those areas. It might be applying the systems and models. Okay. And oh my goodness, we have Mr. Lugashi with us. Okay. So just give some thought before you go to Gene Rivers to your goal and what your priorities are to get there. And then what are some of your strategies? Hey, Ron, can you make yourself known? There he is.
No, yeah, of course I can make myself known. Hi, my name is Ron Lugashi. How are you?
Does everybody know Ron? And Ron, am I at liberty?
Yeah, you can,
Okay.
you can
I
disclose
never
whatever you
heard of him ever in my life. Just kidding.
Ron is the newest member to the coaching team. And he is a top, and will continue to be, a top buyer's agent with the Zamir Group out of Tenafly and Fair Lawn.
Wow. Yeah, I have to apologize. I was running late, Patty, because I was teaching a class in our old friend's market center in Montclair. And as usual, I went into overtime. So
Ron is a gift to us. He's a giver. Some people are takers, some are givers. Ron is a giver. So Ron, we were just talking about the market. Let's get his opinion because he's out there every day with buyers and buyers and buyers. Ron, what do you think is going on in the market?
I know I always describe, I always start with a question. When I want to describe the market conditions, I always describe with a question. I start off with a question. And the question is, well, do you know the difference between the seller's market and the buyer's market? And they'll usually say, yeah, in a seller's market, a seller can obtain what they're looking for, even more sometimes, and there's low inventory. And in a buyer's market, there's there's low inventory. There's high inventory. Buyers have a lot of options. They have room to negotiate. That's right. And right now, wherever you go, it's a funny market. Can I explain? And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. So the reason I say it's a funny market is because there's only 2 types of products. There's always 2 types of products. I don't care what town you go to. I don't care what the price point is. There's always 2 types of products. Yes, there's your overpriced kind, which is your buyer market type product, right? It's overpriced, can be overpriced by 10,000 or 100,000, or it could be priced correctly, even underpriced, which is your seller market type of product. The question is, do you know as agents which is which? Okay. So overall, I'll call it a very strong seller's market because we have very, very low inventory. It doesn't matter where you go. There should be 3 times as much inventory that there is now, and it doesn't matter where you go. And so, yes, it sucks, especially when you're a buyer or you have a buyer as a buyer's agent. What they're looking for is realistic, and it's just not out there. Well, what can we do? What can we do to find them a home? What can we do to prepare them? What can we do? We always look at what can we do as a buyer's agent to help our clients achieve the outcome, the accomplishment that they're looking for, which is to find this particular home that has, I lost you there with the phone call, sorry. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Yeah, I'm back with you. I had a phone call, unfortunately. So it's our job to do what we can to prepare them. It's our job to do what we can to help them achieve their goals. And sometimes right now it's rough. I got a list of buyers, ready, willing, and able, and willing to do whatever it takes to obtain above all that, and yet the product itself is just not out there, and that's okay. There's other products. The question is, can they concede? Are there other options? Can they expand their options? Right? What can they give up? What can they do with? What can they do without? And we have to kind of guide them. We're leaders in the relationship. We have to advise, consult, create a path, and guide them. That's just my approach to working with buyers. It's you know, there's no you know, as long as they're realistic, we can make it happen. Is it going to take a little bit of work? Yes, it's going to take a little bit of work. Are we going to have to submit several offers to get one accepted? Yes, we are. We have to be okay with that. The buyers need to be okay with that. And ultimately, you keep looking, you keep working, you keep trying. We're going to make it happen.
Now, Ron, if a buyer says to you, you know what, I think I want to wait because these prices are too high. I'm going to wait for them to come down.
Well, you know, there's different ways to approach that. One, we have to find out if it's a condition or if it's an objection. Usually it's an objection. Sometimes they don't tell us the truth and there is a condition hiding behind it. So what makes you say that? And then let them explain what makes them say that. What makes them think that it's expensive now and it won't get more expensive later? They think, well, I hear in the news that the market's going to crash. I was like, can I share with you? And I understand why you might think that. Can I share with you what I'm seeing on the ground here in our local area, in the same area you're looking to buy a home? And they're like, yeah, sure. I was like, right now, the inventory is way too low. Way too low. Even if the inventory doubles itself and even maybe tripled itself, the demand is so high. So what we have is a supply and demand issue. And it's not going to correct itself for a long time. And it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next week and not next month. And it might not even happen next year. Our supply and demand issue is just too much of an issue. It's too low of a supply and too much of a demand. And even if you as a buyer and some other buyers leave the market, it's still not going to reduce the demand to where we need it to be, where it's not so crazy and the prices go down. Now, while you're waiting on the sidelines, you're still paying rent. And while you're waiting on the sidelines, these home prices are actually likely to go a little bit higher. So while you're waiting on the sidelines, the sellers are making more money. Now, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see you making the money, not giving rent, building equity, building assets. It's always a very smart economical financial move to buy now, especially with the interest rates being what they are. I can't promise you the interest rates won't go up. Even if the prices go down, nobody can promise you that the interest rates won't go up, which in essence will increase your overhead. So, and I'll give you an example. It's a perfect example. Why is it a perfect example? Because a year and a half ago, interest rates were over 4%. Prices were 10, 15% less than they are now. Did you know that your monthly overhead a year and a half ago was actually higher than it is today at the higher price and the lower interest rate? No, I didn't know that. Okay, great. So I can show it to you by the numbers. Do you want to take a minute? And I can show them by the numbers, but that's actually the case. Interest rates at 4 and a quarter, with prices 10 to 15% less, their monthly overhead, their monthly payment is actually slightly higher than it is compared to 3% in the prices of today. And it's just numbers. So you can typically, when somebody has an objection, you have to look at it as a question that has not been answered just yet. That's what an objection is. So what can we do? Again, I'm going back to where's our responsibility, where's our DNA? What can we do to increase their awareness level and answer that question for them so that they can move forward? Now, if there's something that they're not telling me, we have to dig deeper. You know what? My wife and I are getting a divorce. You know what? My father-in-law just passed away. You know what? My job just fired me. They're not necessarily disclosing all the pertinent information all the time. Sometimes we have to dig it out of them. So again, when they have an objection, we have to either handle it or discover more information so that we can approach it best or know how to approach it best.
Ron, if I could add to you. Go ahead, Igor.
Sorry, a quick question for you. One thing that on the back of my mind, I'm always nervous about is convincing them to buy just to have, as soon as we close, the market collapse. And then obviously I lost future sellers and or recommendations that would come from them. So how do we make it sound that yeah, but now it might be a good time to buy, or just so that you don't put yourself in a position where after the closing, they hate you immediately by kind of convincing them to do so.
I'm not convincing anybody to make any decision. You have to understand, at the end of the day, we do not make choices for other people. We can influence their decisions, but we cannot make choices for other people. Ultimately, that's their responsibility. They have to take responsibility for that. So that's the way I see things. Now,
Yeah.
am I going to give them the best possible advice at that very moment? Today, right now, yes, I am. Can the market change in a second? It's possible. It's happened. It never really happened in a second, by the way. It's always gradual then suddenly, right? Even back in, I was in the market. I was working back in 2007 into 2008. You felt the market go soft in the summertime. In June, July, August, September, you felt it go soft. October, you really felt it. And I'm telling you, by New Year's, I was out in Las Vegas, which got hit the worst out of anywhere else in the country.
Mhm.
By New Year's, it was a complete collapse. It just like everything dropped. So it wasn't suddenly. It was gradually. You felt it softening, and then suddenly it comes down. So it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes-
that was a financial crisis. COVID was a health crisis, but the health crisis we went through actually made the real estate market an even stronger seller's market than it already was. It's already been a seller's market the last 5 or 6 years. It's just been getting worse. It's just been getting stronger of a seller's market. So it's, hopefully that kind of answered your question. It doesn't happen overnight, nor do I have a crystal ball to forecast it. Yet I will tell you, I'm buying a house right now. I'm buying a 2-family investment right now. So why would I be buying a house right now if I thought the market was going to collapse tomorrow? And even if it did, it's a long-term investment. I'm not selling it 2 days later. I'm not selling it 2 years later. I'm selling it 10 or 20 years later. The real estate market tends to be cyclical in a way, and it always ends up going up. Eventually, it always ends up going up.
Yeah,
So
that's
you're
right.
not
It
going to buy a
regains.
house. Yeah, you're not going to buy a house and move out 2 years later unless I've had this happen. Unless something happens, like a job offer, you can't say no to. You can't refuse. In that case, you're in good shape. Anyway, fine.
Yeah.
So
I think too, sometimes people just want our permission because they're getting comments from those around them as to, oh my God, are you crazy? Why don't you wait for the market to change? Well, you know what? To Ron's point, it could be 2-3 years for the market changes. And then you're throwing money at rent, or maybe not even rent, but at a house that as the market's changing, so is the price on it for resale value. So yeah, depending on where their current situation is, they could be losing, quote unquote, losing money on their current home or depreciating. So, yep. But good point, Igor. I hope it gave you some talking points. And I think the main one that Ron said that I would underscore is we don't make decisions for our people. We give them the facts. You can pull up statistics. You can share market trends with them from the MLS, but we don't make decisions for them.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are lots of people still buying real estate right now. A lot of people still doing it, even though we all agree that the prices are pretty high.
I think there'll always be transactions in real estate, and that industry will never stop. Whether it's capital gains, if you're looking for capital gains, I don't think it's benefit right now. But if you're looking residual income, that'll always come. And if you do have property, as you were saying, you're buying a 2-family home, you're going to get tax breaks too. So there's
That's right.
huge. That's the only time you get a tax break.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, there's lots of information in the weeds.
So I guess it's just, I think what Dave Radney said, he gave us a script. Hey, I'm not trying to force you to make a decision. I'm just trying to give you the best information to make the best decision for your family.
Yep. Okay, everybody comfortable with that? Boy, we got off on a good subject. I love it though. All right. Rana had started out by talking about goals and the fact that we have Gene Rivers for the next 2 afternoons. And I encourage everyone to go into those meetings, first of all, to make sure they attend. Second of all, go into the meetings with their goals and written and some of their priorities to get to those goals and make the program well worthwhile. It'll mean more to you if you go in prepared.
It is, and you're able to break it down where, you're putting numbers to it. This is a numbers game. It's the job that we have as real estate agents. It does involve numbers, and what I mean by that is there's always a result at the end of it, and our conversions are going to be different. Fine, but if we know what activities we're supposed to be doing, we do those activities on a consistent, committed, disciplined level, we'll get the results. So they'll improve over time. They may not be what you want them to be yet. If you knock on 100 doors, or you call 100 expires, or you call 100 FSBOs, or you do 30 open houses, or you hand out 1,000 business cards, there's a number to everything that we do. The question is, what's your activity around it? What's your habits around it? What action are you taking that will dictate what results you get? Obviously, the more work we put in, the more we get out of it. It's just the way things work, the way the world. So let's just take, for example, your business plan, your GPSs, your 135s, whatever you want to call it. Let's just say we have a goal. Great. It doesn't matter what, we all have different goals, units, volume, income. Amazing. Okay. Well, let's say our priority is a lead gen activity. A particular lead gen activity is one of our priorities. Again, goals is the G, P is your priorities, and S is your strategies. Let's talk strategy for a second. Let's break it down. That's exactly what the business planning clinic is going to do for you. It's going to break it down. Let's just say, you know what? I want open houses to be my lead gen lever. All right, fair enough. A lot of us have open house as a lead gen lever. Yes, likely. Awesome. So what activities, what strategies can we take with open houses to improve the likelihood that we obtain our goals? So let's systemize it. Again, if you speak to me about planning and business plans, I'm going to say the word system often. It has to be smart strategies, and you have to put a number to it. Let's just say open houses. Talk to me about intention. Talk to me number. What do you intend on getting out of it? Well, every open house I want to do, I intend on getting one buyer lead and one seller lead. Great. That's the great first start to your system. Great. How many open houses? Again, we're putting a number to it. How many open houses are you going to do a year? Well, I'm going to do 25. Great. That's one every 2 weeks. You know what? I'm going to do 50. Great. That's every week. You know what? I'm going to do 100. Great. That's 2 a week. We're putting a number to it. We have our intention. Now we're putting a number to it. Amazing. Now, the first part I mentioned, where I intend on getting this or that out of it, one buyer lead, one seller lead, one contact from expired, one contact from for sale, but whatever it may be, whatever activity you happen to be doing, it's important. Why is that important? Is because when we have intention, when you walk into our conversation that we're having today with intention, you are more likely to obtain that result. When you walk into an open house, or when you call an expired, when you do those with intention, you're more likely to obtain the result that you're looking for. When you have intention walking into your home after a hard day's work, you intend on having a great mood, or hearing your family laugh, or be good. That outcome is more likely to happen when you walk in with intention. That's why intention is so very important, because it is increasing the likelihood that it actually occurs. So after intention, talk to me. Okay, we know how many we're going to do. Well, what about your scripts? Okay, what about your signs? How many signs are you putting out? That's part of your system. Well, a part of my system is going to have 10 signs and 2 flags and a doormat. Okay, wonderful. And then let's go down. Let's keep talking about your system. This is a system. So we're using a pre-qualification script. Great. When are you using it? In the beginning, as you're walking through the house, in the kitchen? What kind of sign-in sheet are you using? Are you using a digital, or are you using a paper one? When do you start asking the questions? When they start signing, or at the end of the meeting? So as you go down, the different pieces, like items of value, your follow-up system, all of those are strategies. All of those are strategies to help you achieve your goal of X amount of units, X amount of volume. And you have to reverse engineer it. It's just the way that it works. So you say your goal and you work your way down and you break your goals down all the way to the activities that you're going to be doing on a daily basis. That's why it's called reverse engineering, because this is your annual goal. And let's say the open house, we do it on the weekend. Fine, but we're going to be doing it this way, and this is how we're going to achieve the best result. And we're always R&Ding it. There's always research and development going on. We're always looking back, reflecting, saying we're changing this word, the timing of things, when we do things, and we're always looking to improve our conversion with the small differences that we make in our strategies. So that is a mouthful, a very long monologue. Yet, if you're looking to improve your conversion with your lead gen activity, I do recommend you systemize it, and that's exactly what the Business Planning Clinic is going to be doing for you. It'll break down the numbers, what you need to do. Now, here's the best part. You get to choose the activities, and you get to choose the numbers. There's no right or wrong. If you want to talk to 2 expires a day or 20 expires a day, that's up to you. If you want to talk to, door knock 5 doors a week, or you want to door knock 50 doors a week, that's up to you. You're going to choose your activities, and our habits, yes, our habits will dictate our outcomes. Our behavior will dictate our outcomes. The more action we take will dictate our results. It's just the way that things work. So understand at the end of the day, yes, it is a numbers game. It does require discipline. It does require commitment. And it does require us to put in a little bit of hard work in there.
Ron, Ariane has her hand up.
Yes.
For either one of you, can we just refresh our memories? I don't know if it was ever addressed, the SMART acronym. We talk about our activities, the SMART acronym.
Yes. You want to take it, or you want me to take it, Patty?
Let's go back and forth. Specific.
All right. So yes, specific. It comes down to the numbers. Put a number to it. Tell me how many open houses you're doing. Tell me what you intend on getting at them. Tell me how many expires, how many for sale by owners. Let's talk about social media. How many posts are you doing? How many likes are you doing? How many DMs are you doing? Give me a number. Be specific. All right. It doesn't matter what the lead gen activity is. Be specific about what you're looking to achieve.
And measurable.
Yeah. Measurable is, again, it goes back to the numbers. So conversions, I'll give you an example. So I know that I need to achieve my goal, I need to go on 14 showing meetings a week. I need to schedule 14 showing meetings a week. How do I know that? Well, I track my numbers. And I need to submit 5 offers to get 1, right? Now, if I want 1 offer accepted a week, I better be submitting 5 offers a week. And if I want to submit 5 offers a week, I need to go on 14 showing meetings a week. And if I want to go on 14 showings a meeting a week, then I need to talk to X amount of people. So tracking your numbers is always a good start. And then you can have your measures in place, your conversions in place, and now all of a sudden we can forecast. It gives you that amazing special ability to forecast when you know your numbers. That's why tracking, while it sounds like a very not important type of thing, it's actually one of the most important things when it comes to production or forecasting your production, or knowing where you are and where you want to be, and the gap in between. If we don't track our numbers, we won't know. So it's important to measure as much as you can, but there are some basic things to measure.
And achievable?
Yeah. Are they achievable, or are you just being unrealistic? You know what? I want to make $100 million this year. Okay. Is it really achievable? Probably not. So you want to make it achievable for where you are, your growth pattern.
Yeah.
You're always going to be growing. I can guarantee you, as long as you keep learning and you keep growing, you will grow also year over year. And we do that via conversations, meetings, and experiences that we have. And we're just going to grow.
Relevant and time bound.
So
relevant is time bound. And speaking of time, I have a meeting at 3.
Okay.
Yeah, just go over specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, relevant, and time bound is SMART.
Yeah. So those are SMART strategies. When we're talking about GPS, that's the S in GPS strategies.
Yep. And So fabulous. All right, Ron, we were so fortunate to have you come in. Are you going to be with us every Tuesday afternoon?
Yes, unless I have a class that I'm teaching, yes. So usually I'll book
Okay.
my appointments around it. The classes get kind of tricky because I book them a month ahead, but yes,
Okay.
normally I'll be.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I hate to cut it short, but I need to get ready for 3:00. And I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives you some direction. I also hope it gives you some impetus to attend the session tomorrow with Gene Rivers. Please. All right, it's on KW Connect. Okay.
Take care,
Thank you.
everybody. Get to work.
Be well, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much.